Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to the post Anaheim 1 wrap-up show. I'm going to run through things and just kind of let you know what happened and kind of what I thought about things. Anyway, first, check out ebcbrakes.com. Longtime sponsor of mine. You guys know them. Best brakes, clutches, you name it, they got it. Epic Garage Designs. They also did a floor for AGE Motorsports, the red and black checkers. If you want to get in shape, hit up Coach Rob at CompleteRacingSolutions.com. And if you need some supplements, hit up SteelCityMen'sClinic.com. And I'm talking about bringing on a new sponsor. They're called Sea of Seven, SEA of 7. They do some really cool clothing, and I just want to make sure that you guys like the stuff. If you do, we'll bring them on as a sponsor, and we'll bring on Sea of 7. So thanks, guys. And oh, don't forget, subscribe. I hate having to ask you guys to subscribe, but if I don't, the subscriptions don't go up. That's how we're measured. So just subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate it, and let's get into this thing.
Everybody love everybody! You all know exactly who I am.
All right, guys, so what Anaheim 1 tells us, like, we always literally everyone's calling it the Anaheim overreaction. We've been waiting for months and months and months, and then there will only be 6 days until Oakland. But let's just judge this for what it was. We did find some really key information out. We found out Eli Tomac really does love that new Yamaha. He's not faking it. Him and Dylan Ferrandis both love that new Yamaha. It's very balanced, and both those guys are going to be strong all year. We found out Cooper Webb is back. Cooper Webb is back at the Baker's factory, and he looks like the champion, the two-time champion. He's got that fire, and his lines were just so good, cutting to the inside and doing some of those things. But you cannot blame that bike. KTM and whoever, they did their testing. The bike looks good. Malcolm looked fast. Well, until he had a big get off. But yeah, the other thing we learned is Shane McElrath. You should probably run hand guards. That start was stupid. Please, track designers, you did an amazing job keeping it dry. Don't ever put whoops on a start straight again. You interrupted the flow, the natural flow of a start. The natural flow of a start funnels in gradually. And a lot of times there's 10 gates, then there's the doghouse. So there's a little bit of just a room for the guys to accordion. You take away that extra 4 to 5 feet and you have horrific things like what happened with Shane McElrath, Austin Forkner, and I'll talk more about that later on. That's big for Austin Forkner's career. It's such a bummer, but please don't ever do that again. Supercross. And it's Supercross, not Super Motocross. It's Supercross that we're watching right now. I'm tired of them saying the Super Motocross. No, it's Supercross, and then it's Motocross. And if you want to call those last 3 rounds Super Motocross, that's fine. But stop calling the Supercross series. And what are these Super Motocross statistics? There's never been a Super Motocross race, and there won't be until the fall. So stop with your stupid fake statistics. They're driving me nuts. But yeah, split starts are absolutely dangerous. And I'll tell you what, this whole 450 field, they need to worry about Eli Tomac. He looks better than last year. Typically, Eli Tomac comes out at the first round and feels it out. Sometimes he gets arm pump. I don't know if it's nerves or it's that weird Anaheim dirt. Dude did not get arm pump. He crashed. He made a mistake, but then came back and still won the race. So if I'm those guys, I'm very, very scared of Eli Tomac. The only guy that might not be scared of him is Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb is mentally tough. When this Cooper Webb shows up, he battles, and he battles hard. You guys remember him a few years ago at the starting, going, let's battle mother effers, and he just yells it. That's who Cooper Webb is. Sexton did exactly, it wasn't a phenomenal start, but hey, let's not forget, this is only 5.8% of the series. Third place is just fine in the season opener. As long as you don't throw it away, you're doing okay. Even if you throw it away, there's still 94.2% of the series left, so it's not that big of a deal. But we do need to find some stuff out, and the stuff that we needed to find out, we found out. Dylan Ferrandis, much, much, much better. Got 4th. Almost had 3rd until Webb came on strong at the end. He's so good at these tracks like this where you have to He's so good at that pivoting on the inside line. You'll notice he's the first one usually to cut those inside lines. He's so good at it. And if the tracks are continually soft like this, he's going to be a threat. Ken Roczen, you guys have been crucifying me for making fun of the Suzuki. And it's not that I'm making fun of the Suzuki, because, well, I guess I am. But it's great for someone like me or you or 99.9% of the public. That bike is just fine. It looks awesome. I love the yellow. But it is not an elite factory bike. It's just not. And Ken Roczen has relegated himself to 3rd to 5th place. He is no longer a title contender. I think if he stayed on the Firepower Honda, he would have been a championship contender the way he rode in this offseason. And I think this Suzuki was a mistake. So far, I'm not eating my words, guys. Unfortunately, I would love to. I hope I do. I don't think I will. He might even get a win, but he's still not going to be a championship contender. It's just, that's it for Ken Roczen. It was a bad move. Let's see, anything else in the 450 class? Yes, we had Colt Nichols on Ken Roczen's old bike, getting right behind him. Colt didn't look good. Colt's been out for an entire year, though. I expected a little bit of rust. He came out slow in qualifying, but he got it together. He got it together, and, I mean, he just trucked along, and next thing you know, 6th place. We can work with that. 6th place is a great finish to build off of in your first 450 race for Team Honda after being out for a year. I mean, he finished ahead of Jason Anderson, and Jason Anderson's a title contender, and by no means did Jason blow it. He had that big crash in practice, and when you ride on this type of dirt where it's really sketchy and you get those pockets that kind of grab the bike, confidence is everything. And he had a big one in practice, and it probably shook his confidence just a touch, and that's all it takes to go from 1st to, what did he finish, 7th. That's the difference. Unless you're Tomac, and you can make that mistake and still win. So, which is frightening to the other guys. Plessinger looked pretty good. I would say almost everybody made mistakes in the main, but Plessinger, it looks like he's much improved on that new bike. Adams and Cirillo, oh man. Okay, so it's not good, but it wasn't horrible. It wasn't, like if I'm giving him a report card on a A, B, C, D, or F, I'm giving him a D+. Like, he didn't fail. He did DNF. We can work with it. You know, I think a D+ is still, it's passing, but just barely. It just sucks. But what he did is he might have set himself up to have a good rest of the season because our expectations are low. And as he builds, he gets a 5th. Instead of saying, oh man, he's 5th, we're saying, ooh, he's up to 5th. He's building. So it's probably the smart thing to do is go out there, ride smart, build a base. I just hope his arm's holding up. He's not going to tell us. But you'll see it in his riding if he starts fading. But I like what he's doing. I can live with that. Joey Savacci looked pretty good. Marvin had a rough main event, went down. Christian Craig had a big one in practice. That's why he was off. Malcolm Stewart. Oh, Malcolm. I was on. So we're going to do a live show every Friday with Coach Rob and Johnny Hopper over on Hopper's channel. You can get in there and chat with us if you'd like. On that channel, I predicted Malcolm Stewart was going to win. And those guys crucified me. They essentially told me I was a moron. I had no idea what I was talking about, and there's no way that Malcolm would possibly ever win. And when he looked like he was going to, I'm not going to lie, I was just like, oh, I can't wait to tell Hopper off and tell Coach and everybody, like, suck it, because Malcolm's going to win. And he got pushed off by Sexton. It wasn't a dirty move. Lines come together. It wasn't that big of a deal. I think Malcolm was making some mistakes, might have got a little arm pump. I don't know specifically, but it sure looked like he got a little bit of arm pump, and then he made that horrific mistake. And I'm glad he got up and rode off. I don't know how banged up he is, but Malcolm's tough. But he looked like he hit his head. He was a little wobbly, and I was surprised that Asterisk Medical Crew guy that was right there, he looked like he wanted to sit him down, but Malcolm's like, no, you're not sitting me down, and he probably would have had to wrestle him. So it is what it is. On to the 250s. Guys, I am borderline depressed over what I saw in the 250 class. I saw Jett, who should be in the 450 class. I don't think he should be in the 250 class. Yes, he hasn't pointed out or whatever and all the rules and he's young. I get all that. But the way he rides, he is so much better. He's a guy that I think could be a top 3 guy in the 450 class. I know they don't want to rush him, but it almost looks like he's picking on the 250 riders now because he's so much better. You'll see, and so I watch a lot of sports, and I watch how fans latch on to guys. They love them. They build them up. And as soon as the guy's on top for a while, they get sick of them and they want to like tear them down and then build them up again. I can see that right now. Right now, Jett is on that borderline. He did not get the cheers he normally gets. People were not loving him unconditionally like they normally do. Normally, everybody loves the Jett. But I did notice also in his little speech before when they were talking about what he needs to do, he went third person. Jett, don't go third person. Never go third person. It sounds ridiculous. Cooksey says it sounds ridiculous. You know what Cooksey means? When Cooksey says that, Cooksey thinks that. It sounds ridiculous to go third person. Don't ever go third person. It makes you sound arrogant, even if you're not. Cooksey says don't do it. So don't go third person, Jett. Nobody likes that. It looks arrogant, and it's going to turn the fans against you. While he's the big dog and the overdog, nobody cheers for the overdog. People are going to cheer for RJ Hampshire. They're going to cheer for Cameron McAdoo. And one of those two psychopaths is going to take a shot at Jett. These two guys, while we all think Jett's the man, they do not give a shit. And both of these dudes would use him at traction at a moment's notice. And it probably pisses them off that we all just assume Jett's way better than them. Because neither of them believe that. I get it. It is what it is. But one of those psychopaths is going to take a shot at him and rattle him, and we'll see what happens. But it's going to make for some good racing. And the one guy I thought had the speed and talent and the resume to do some battle with him was an unfortunate victim of that stupid ass design on the start. Who in the hell lays whoop-de-doos in the center of a split lane? What are you doing? Why would you do that? You interrupted the complete flow of the startaway. Have you ever seen so many people lock bars? On a typical start, they go and there's that little space in the middle where the doghouse is, and it allows them to kind of accordion out and then funnel back in. When they put those whoops in the middle, it forced them at about the quarter of the way mark, all the guys got tight. And it was tight before they had a chance to really figure out where they were, and that's what caused a lot of the problems. It was a bad design. I'm okay with split lanes, I don't prefer them, but don't ever put whoops down the center of it. It screwed up the entire flow. Then the guys were coming in from the outside, and the guys on the inside, they were having trouble judging it. It was just a mistake. It was a bad design. Don't do it again. I won't harp on it too much, but I just don't want to see that again. It was nice to see Mitchell Oldenburg on the MCR Honda team. Looked really good. It was nice to see Max Voland. Max needed this so bad. Max is one of those guys, kind of like Forkner, kind of like Pierce Brown, that needed to get a result and just get some stuff going, get some finishes. And boy, Pierce Brown, that sucked. Looked like a concussion. I haven't heard. I drove home. I was in Arizona this weekend, guys. I actually had a college friend pass away, so I went to his celebration of life instead of going to Anaheim. But hey, sometimes things are more important than racing, and I needed to go see all my old friends and stuff. So anyway, that's where I was, and that's why I don't know what's wrong with Pierce Brown. I should probably text Keith and find out, but I think he's okay. I think it's just as okay as a concussion is, which that's messed up to even say, but they'll probably race him next week if that's all it is. I wouldn't. I'd sit him out for a couple weeks if that's what he did. If he did get a concussion enough to sit out the night, I would sit him for minimum 2 weeks. That's just my baseline of what I would do. I don't run the team. Forkner, I think that's the last we're going to see of Forkner as a elite rider. I think that's the last you're going to see him on a Kawasaki, unless he can make it back for the outdoors, which I strongly recommend. If I'm Forkner and you have this broken leg now, you're out. Supercross is over. Get back. Get that leg as healthy and as strong as possible. Do not come back until that thing's ready, but you need to work your ass off. Something he hasn't been known for is his hard work. He needs to work his ass off. Get back, come out, do what you can do in the outdoors. Just try and get Star, Rockstar Husqvarna, TLD, one of these teams to take a flyer and give you another chance. Gets one more chance and see if he can get back to that elite status. I don't know that he can. That might be it. I mean, he might not ever be an elite guy now. Now he may have a career that just kind of fizzles, you know. So we'll have to see. He's headed for some dark times, guys. I don't think that we talk about it enough. The ups and downs, and I can't even imagine how he feels today to put in all that effort to be riding good, to be fast qualifier, to come in there, make it 25 feet and have a catastrophic accident that was caused by a stupid track design, and it was just racing. Like, just unfortunate, man. And then to break your leg and you're out, and then now you lose your job. He's not getting a fat contract for next year no matter what. Nobody's going to sign him unless he comes back and does this miracle outdoor victory, which I don't see happening. Yeah, it's a bad deal for Austin Forkner. I'm gutted. Man, and I don't think people understand. This is a lot of the times why I want these guys to get paid, because you never know when it's the end. You never know. This might be the end of him. You just don't know. And it frustrates me that these guys take that kind of risks, and there's that much money. That was a full stadium of $100 tickets. All that money, the sponsorship, everything. And these riders are literally changing their future life path. You can't tell me when Austin Forkner's 40, 45 years old that the ACL tears and the broken legs and the broken shoulders, he's going to be a mess. I know what it feels like. I'm in my mid-40s, and I have had a lot of this. I just had my knee replaced. My shoulders hurt. These guys deserve to be taken care of financially. They need some sort of a health coverage, some sort of a long-term plan, because it happens. And like I said, in an instant. In one bad design of a start straight, your career could be over. Your life could be changed. So, okay, that's enough of the soapbox, guys. Remember, subscribe and go to epicgaragedesigns.com or Epic Garage Designs YouTube channel. There's a video I did where I did a time lapse where we put in a floor in a garage. Just make a comment on there and we'll get you entered to win. That automatically enters you to win a Moto Tracks that goes underneath your motorcycle, or we could probably adapt it and do a garage rack or something of equal value. But just go ahead, subscribe, drop a comment, and you're automatically entered, and we'll get you dialed in. It's kind of cool. Cheyenne Harmon, yeah, arena cross rider Cheyenne Harmon. He won last month, and we're going to get that out to him, and I'm sure we'll get some pictures. And I'm probably going to do an interview with him because Cheyenne Harmon's pretty cool. Although he hit his head this weekend pretty hard. Man, it was pretty nasty. So anyway, guys, thank you, and I'll catch you later.